I'm not impressed with the print quality. That's very nice. It's not my favorite. Stunning. I don't dislike it. Oh, this is gorgeous. 3 of 1s. Probably don't need both. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Excellent. I'm a genius. Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome or welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope you're doing all kinds of good today. In this video, I'm going to be playing with a tarot deck. This is the mass market edition of the Many Queens Tarot that recently came out, created by Lady Jane Renkamp. I can't read this font. This was an indie deck that I had my own when it was an indie deck, and then I was thrilled to hear that it was going mass market. I got myself a copy. We're going to have a look. I'm going to flip through the cards, do a yes, no, maybe, because I really like doing that. And then I think maybe play with some pairings, maybe do a little reading. I'm not sure. I've had this for about a week, but aside from flipping through it, I've not done anything with it. It's just been sitting on my desk for me to like fidget with. So I thought I would kind of officially introduce myself to it with a video. So hope you enjoy. Let's get to it. So this is pretty straightforward. This obviously isn't a full review, but I'll give you the like details of the deck. It's in this 2-piece hard box. Comes with a little white book, and it really is very little. It's just a stapled little guide. There's no spreads, I don't think. There's some like suggestions, but nothing that's kind of tailored to this deck. It's, you know, draw a card daily, do a past, present, future. And then we get into the cards. We've got, looks like upright and reversed, meanings for everything. And then I do like this at the back. There's an included kind of other resources. So the resources that she used to create this, not necessarily to create this deck, but the resources that inspired her with her tarot journey. Couple of podcasts, which I quite like. I like getting that little peek into the creator's practice. And then the cards, these are large and they are glossy, which is fine. It's reasonably easy to shuffle, I think. It's not too difficult. It's not the easiest to riffle, but it might break in. But yeah, I already have flipped through this and given it a shuffle on my own time, so I'm just going to get into it. These are the backs, and I do absolutely love them. And this is the deck. So I guess content warning for lots of boobs and other body parts potentially. Obviously all illustrated, they're not photographic. This tarot deck was created to help define a more inclusive definition of femininity, beauty, and body language. So the thing I have loved about this deck for as long as I've wanted it is exactly that. It's the kinds of bodies that are shown, all the like hairy legs and stuff. I think it's really, really cool. Completely interrupting my own train of thought. It's a black and white deck, and for a long time I thought black and white decks weren't for me, which is one of the reasons I never bought this. But recently I've been having such a love affair with black and white decks. I might get them out later. We'll see how we go for time. This was just such a no-brainer when I went mass market. So it also wasn't too expensive. It retails for $27 US. I paid, I think, £17 something. That is probably going to fluctuate. I will say, before I dive in, just to get my grumblings out of the way, the print quality is not great. It's, first of all, it's like cheap, not great cardstock, but it's a cheap deck, so I'm not too upset. But it's kind of pixelated and blurry. I'm not sure if you can see what I mean. I want to be quite zoomed in. Like, can you see around the edges of the images? It's like a little bit pixelated and blurry. It looks kind of like a not very clean scanned image, or like a dodgy photocopy. Like around the leaves there's that like pixelation. And then there's a few of the cards which just have this like smudgy kind of dirty look to them, which at first I thought was, I don't know, some kind of like griminess on the card, but it is actually in the printing, and I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with the print quality. I think it's a shame that they did the artist dirty like that. Okay, like here on the edge of the Fool card, like that is like smudgy and dirty, but it's not, it's printed. That's the artwork. So not impressed with the print quality at all. Here, like here on the Five of Pentacles, do you see that? That's a real shame. I think that's really disappointing. My complaints are out the way. I just wanted to make a note of that because I think, you know, it's a mass market publication. They absolutely have like quality controls in place. This shouldn't have happened. And it's not a super expensive deck, but you know, I still paid 17 of my good English pounds for this, and it's a shame to see something that could have been avoided. So that's my misgivings. I will now get into the cards. I am going to do a yes, no, maybe, which I've done with a few different decks that I enjoy doing. These are out of order, but I'm not going to reorder them. So the Five of Pentacles. This is really interesting with the snake. That's not something I've seen in the Five of Pentacles before. Like we've got this like reference to the church window. It looks like the snake is holding up the fifth pentacle. I think that's really interesting. And especially, I mean, I know the Rider-Waite-Smith is full of Christian imagery, but I think this one, that's especially obvious because you've got the literal church window in the background. So having that with the snake, I think is really interesting. I don't dislike it. And honestly, the Five of Pentacles is a card I struggle with. Who doesn't? But it's difficult for me to interpret that beyond the very literal physical strife kind of interpretation. So I'm neutral about it, but I'm interested in it. Two of Swords. This one is pretty Rider-Waite-Smithy. I think this whole deck is pretty Rider-Waite-Smithy, but I haven't looked at it in detail yet. I like this like magnifying glass, it looks like down here in the title. Two of Swords, that's really cool. The art style is so cool. Oh, and we've got like a droplet on the edge of one of the swords, which is a little bit, and the shadows, I think it renders it a little bit more sinister almost, which I think is really cool because it's peace, right? The Lord of Peace. Is that the Two of Swords? I like this. I like this. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles. Love this. This is fine. It's a pretty straightforward Eight of Pentacles, I think. No, it looks like a Seven of Pentacles. I'm getting myself confused. It is a less straightforward Eight of Pentacles. It is confusing that it looks like a Seven of Pentacles. I'm not thrilled about that just because I will trip myself up. Are we placing or are we harvesting? This is fine. I don't love it. I'm less a fan of this. The Devil. Oh, this is cool. There is no safety, only trust in the tattoos. I love this. Trans wrap it looks like we've got going here. Very cool. Oh, hate and love tattooed on the fingers as well. I will say I love this representation of the devil with like the bat wings and the hand round this one's throat. That's really cool. I like that. 10 of Pentacles. This is absolutely gorgeous. I think this is one of the cards that Little Red Tarot had on the previews for this deck. I don't know if she still has copies of the indie, but I'll link her below if she does. And at first I was like, I can't read this. This is too visually confusing. But it's visually confusing in a way that I really like, capturing my attention rather than confusing my attention. You can't really tell whose limbs are coming from where, and it's a bit like Picasso-esque in that. I love this. They're like doing her, like caring for her hair. I think that is a really gorgeous portrayal. I think that feels a little bit more 10 of Cups than 10 of Pentacles to me, so that's interesting. This might be a deck where I have to kind of let go of my bank of tarot meanings a little bit. We've got Pentacles here. Do we have 10 Pentacles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love how they're bound up in the hair. I like this. Okay, Six of Pentacles. This feels like a pretty standard Six of Pentacles. I love all the body hair. It's so cool to see. Yeah, it's fine. The Knight of Wands. I love this texture, and I love that this is the like the club, like the suit of clubs in a playing card deck. I mean, it's fine. The King of Pentacles. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I like the kind of sense of pause. So I'm doing the Drop 'em 78 with the Thoth Tarot, which obviously very different deck, but I recently did the King of Pentacles a couple days ago. That was the card of the day, and I feel like this fits with how the Prince the Knight of Pentacles was described. Maybe I'm making things up. I don't know, but I really like that. The Nine of Pentacles. I've seen a lot of peacocks in the Nine of Pentacles. It's not my favorite. I don't hate it. It's fine. Two of Wands. Like, I just love this artwork. It's so fun. Okay, Two of Wands. It feels pretty standard. There is much less landscape in this deck. And I think I'm noticing that particularly in this card because the backdrop is such a big deal of the Two of Wands, at least in the way that I read it. And we're holding, this is cool. So this is obviously a Wands card, but we're holding a gem, which is also what is being represented in the Pentacles. And instead of the world and like that reference to the Pentacles as Earth, I appreciate that. I think that's really cool. I love the tattoos. I think this would be interesting, possibly impossible to read, but interesting next to the Heart and Hands Tarot, which is another black and white deck with a cool art style. I really enjoy this. Ace of Swords. Oh my god, stunning, stunning. Yes, love it. 100 out of 10. Let's see, that's Aquarius. Where's Libra or Gemini? Am I blind? Are they not there? Oh, that's a shame. I don't know if they're there. I want to see what it has to say about the ace, so I'm putting that in my interested pile. Page of Swords. This is gorgeous. Oh, with the lightning. It's a little bit vicious. This would go nicely with the Outgrow Yourself. I love this. Gorgeous. Some of these cards are landscape, and I actually really like that. This Knight of Swords is so cool. The way that this like flight that's taking place, which you can see in the shadow. I love that. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. Really beautiful image. Pretty standard, but absolutely gorgeous. Nine of Swords. I like the black dog, the reference to like the black dog of depression. It's fine. Ten of Swords, the melodrama. There's always got to be melodrama in the Ten of Swords, otherwise what are you doing? We've got the sun rising in the background. We've got this crescent moon down here. And I do like that this Ten of Swords is, like, it looks a little bit more peaceful. And I feel like they're not necessarily being like stabbed to death. Like a lot of the swords don't appear to be really stabby. And so it is melodrama rather than abject violence. Page of Wands. Again, I love this. The club for the wand. I think that's just a really cool touch. It's a solid Page of Wands. Justice. The perspective in this is really cool. Ooh, and we've got more tattoos. Oh, Balance. BALANCE. That's fun. We've got, I like this little eye on the tip of the sword. And that's Aquarius again, right? Is it Aquarius or is it just squiggles? Am I reading? Because I don't think I've seen any other zodiac glyphs. I also really like this hand here. I love this Justice. Okay, Ace of Cups. Another beautiful ace. Aces are so often some of my favorite cards in a deck. They're always just, not always, but they're often very beautiful just images. I like that. We've got the like 5 streams coming out of the Ace of Cups, like in the Rider-Waite-Smith. 4 of Wands. I like that we've created like a little structure with the wands. This looks very different from the Rider-Waite-Smith 4 of Wands, but I think it captures the energy. I think I really like that. Oh, this is gorgeous. 3 of Wands. Okay, love it. Yes, absolutely. I love the way that she has used different patterns and textures. And so like the snakes and then the hair are like similar. I think this is a really good 3 of Wands. And the 3 of Wands is a bit, not tricky, but I think you can very easily read the 3 of Wands as somebody who has just sent their will out into the world and somebody who is waiting for their will to return. It's like patience and the waiting, but that's not necessarily like procrastinating or time wasting or passive. And I don't know, something about her stance here is very, very strong. I like that a lot. Okay. Hey, lover. That's cute. And we've got like an Ouroboros here. I love this angel. I like that a lot. The Chariot. It's a chariot. I love the shape that's created there. Okay, the Knight of Cups. I love how like glamorous the horse looks. It looks like it's a unicorn. And I like her headdress. That I like. The Queen of Cups. This is another one where I feel like the lack of scene, the lack of landscape, a hindrance to me personally, which actually now I'm looking at the 3 of Wands, I can't believe this isn't, because I usually Three of Wands is as much about the landscape as it is about the figure for me, usually, but I've only just noticed that there's no landscape. I mean, I obviously observed that there was no landscape, but that didn't hinder my reading of it at all. Whereas here it kind of is. Like, we're looking away from the vessel, but we're also like, I don't know if you can, the facial expression, like we are kind of looking at it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't like it or if I want to look at the guidebook. Okay, Page of Cups. Yeah, this is a fine Page of Cups. Love the overalls. Okay, Two of Pentacles. All of these like droplets make a lot of the cards like a little bit more spiky, and I enjoy that. Basically all the ones that are like a standard Rider-Waite-Smith are going in the fine pile. This again doesn't have any landscape. Not really mad about it. Three of Pentacles. I don't know if I'm getting that like collaboration, teamwork, like sharing expertise. This could almost be a Three of Cups. I don't know if it's just covered by the vines. I don't know if this figure is holding something. It's kind of covered by the leaves. I'm not in love with this one. Okay, King of Cups. This I really like. Don't know if I could tell you why, but I really like it. Okay, Three of Cups. I like this. I like how the arms are linked. And it's interesting that looking away from each other, whereas in a lot of Three of Cups they're looking, you know, they're sharing a moment and they're all facing each other. Whereas here they're looking away from each other, but they are still like intertwined. That's nice. I would prefer them looking at each other. I didn't know I had that opinion until just now. Queen of Swords, it's me. We're gripping the sword by the blade. Like, I think that's interesting because I think the Queen of Swords so often is painted as like a bitch. But here it's herself she's cutting, and that feels a lot more like, not egalitarian. Why is that the only word that has jumped to my mind? But instead of somebody who's always using their sword to cut other people, it's like honesty as a knife, or whatever the phrase is, and it hurts her just as much as everybody else. Truth hurts. I like that a lot. Okay, the Strength is a fairly straightforward strength card. I like how they've, like, both the lion and the figure both have their eyes closed. It feels less like a fight. Oh, this is dramatic. The Tower. It should be dramatic, it's the Tower. This is a little bit more Marseille. I like it. Okay, the Nine of Wands. I love this with the shadows and the sun. Sunrise, sunset. Okay, Nine of Cups. It's fine. It's a Nine of Cups. Right, the Fool card is fairly straightforward. No cliff, again, no landscape. And I think the cliff is such a, when you're doing like a traditional, right, well, a Rider-Waite-Smith take on the Fool, it feels like there's something missing without that cliff edge. Because all the other elements are there, you know. We've got the little dog, we've got the rose, we've got the pack over the shoulder. Okay, the Six of Wands is a fairly straightforward Six of Wands. I love that the horse has a pattern. This, one of my less favorite images. I feel like the image could have been bigger. It could have taken up more space. Am I going to be petty and say I don't like it just because of that? No, it's fine. Ace of Wands, another gorgeous ace. I love this. It's like, is it smoke? Oh, the little tree house. Oh, it's very sweet. I like that a lot. The aces are all beautiful. Okay, the Eight of Cups, leaving something behind. But in this one, we're looking back, which is interesting. I like that, actually. That idea of looking, I think a key point of the Eight of Cups often is like, oh, they're leaving their cups behind and they're not even looking back. But I think this adds an interesting twist to it. Just because you move on from something doesn't mean it ceases to exist. The Sun, this is very beautiful. I love this enormous sun. I love the art style so much. I like this. Okay, the Four of Pentacles is a pretty straightforward Four of Pentacles. No notes. Five of Swords. Feels pretty straightforward. These two figures look less like thoroughly defeated than I'm used to them seeing, which isn't a bad thing. It's just is what I'm noticing in the card. It's fine. Four of Swords. This definitely looks more like a rest and less like a tomb, which they sometimes look like. Got this little black dog again, which may just be a, you know, artistic flourish rather than a reference to the black dog in the Nine of Swords. Okay, the Hanged Man is a pretty straightforward Hanged Man. This is another landscape card. The Six of Cups. I don't know that aside from there being 6 cups in the card, if I were to take away the title, I don't know that I would necessarily see the Six of Cups meaning in this. So for that reason, it's going in the no pile. The Hierophant. I'm thinking a lot about the Hierophant at the moment because I am writing up my thoughts for a blog-esque post over on Patreon. I like this Hierophant. I love the shapes, you know? No acolytes though. That's interesting. It's just the figure, and I think that is an interesting focus. It looks more like emperor-like. I don't get any of that like teaching vibe. So not so sure. The Queen of Wands is absolutely gorgeous. I think she's got a lot of confidence. I really like her. She's great. I really like the quartz in this deck. King of Wands, also absolutely gorgeous. Let's do a comparison since I pulled them next to each other. There's a lot of similarities. They're both figures in a throne, but I do like that, like, we've got the cat and we've got the lizard, well, it could be a salamander here. I feel like the queen is more extroverted, which I think makes sense for the Queen of Wands. Those aren't too similar for me, so I'm not upset about them. Okay, the King of Swords. I like how he's holding the sword level, which what's in the Rider-Waite-Smith? I feel like the sword is upright in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I could be misremembering. I like it, but it feels more like level-headed with the swords, with the thoughts and the ideas. Okay, this is the Seven of Pentacles. We've got a box with boobs. This looks like a pretty straightforward Seven of Pentacles, but so does this, which was the Eight. So this, oh, they both got birds on their head. I like it. This is fine. I'm still not a huge fan of this one. Okay, the Seven of Cups. Oh, I like this. I like the expression on her face. She looks troubled, which, you know, I don't like to see people looking troubled, but obviously in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we just get the silhouette. We don't get to see any expression that focuses all on the cards. Whereas here we do see her face and we see that the luxury of choice is sometimes a burden or a barrier as much as anything else. Another beautiful ace. I think this is gorgeous. I like these. I don't know if they're supposed to be nettles, but they certainly look like nettles. It's not my favorite ace, but I do really like it. The Hermit. I love everything about this card. I love the way that when there's shadows in this artwork, I think she's so good. So that, we love it. Okay, my battery died. I made an entirely different cup of coffee, had some lunch. We're back at Five of Cups. Oh, this is one where it's got that smudginess. Like, bleh. I said I was going to stop talking about it. Okay, I really like this Five of Cups. I think it's a solid Five of Cups. I think the facial expression, I think, looks a little bit more like accepting, peaceful, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the Five of Cups can be very, very intensely sad and like personal tragedy, but I don't think that it always has to be. I like that. Oh, I love this Knight of Pentacles. Like, what great hair. I think this is pretty solid. I like that it's that like big sturdy Shire horse with the like the shaggy hooves. I like it. Okay, Queen of Pentacles with the bunny. We love to see it. This is not my favorite Queen of Pentacles, and for that reason, is it fine or is it a no? I think it's a no. I think it's a little bit bland. Oh, this is fabulous though, this death card. I love the way that the text is done down the bottom. This is gorgeous. We've got the like Tudor rose. I love these skeletal hands. This is extremely visually, like purely based on the visuals rather than symbolism. It's an absolute yes. The world is a pretty solid world. We've got the Ouroboros. I love this lion. Okay, the Emperor. See, where did I put the Hierophant? Like, obviously some of the symbols are different. We've got the crossed keys here. We've obviously got the ram here, but I feel like they're very similar images, which, you know, is pretty standard for the Emperor. But I, yeah, strong in not loving that Hierophant, but the Emperor is good. Okay, Temperance, gorgeous. I love this overalls situation. I love this little detail down here in the title. I really like this. There's not a lot of landscape, a lot of background, but we have got the irises. I like that a lot. Oh, this is impactful. This is the Eight of Swords, and it's a pretty standard Eight of Swords, the blindfold with the swords, but these shadows and the way it's coming from like behind. I love that. Yes. Two of Cups. I think it's a fairly standard Two of Cups. The Empress. I love the composition and the way it's like almost like a triangle or like a pyramid kind of structure, and the the stability, the strength that implies. Obviously 4s are stability numerologically, but in terms of shape and structure, triangles are really strong. So I like that. We have not got, I don't think, 12 stars. We've got 3. And I don't think we've got 12 anything. And again, I love the way the title is like a feature of the image. I like that a lot. Even though it's a very, like, I like to see the 12 stars usually, and that's not here. But I do still really like this. There's something about it. Page of Pentacles. I'm not huge on this. I do love the silly hat. I like to see a silly hat and a Page of Pentacles. It's fine. The 7 of Wands. I might be being really nitpicky here, but I wish there was some shadows behind these wands, because I feel like, because we've got it behind the figure, but not, we don't have shadows from the wands, and I feel like it's lacking some impact, which is a shame. So for that reason, it's going in the no pile. I'm being quite quite harsh about who I'm putting in the no pile. I'm just being picky. 5 of Wands. It looks quite playful, but I don't dislike that. I think the 5 of Wands can be quite unserious. It's very chaotic, very 5 of Wands. This is cool with the eyes all over. This is extremely cool. We don't have the like raising from the dead, but I think we don't really need it. That's not the important part of the Judgment card to me. I just like how it's done creatively a lot of the time. Do I like it? Do I love it? I'm not sure. I think I love it. Okay, the 8 of Wands has a figure in it, which is interesting. And it looks like this figure has cast them, like has been the one to throw them up in the air almost, because they're moving away from them, which is interesting for the 8 of Wands. I feel like usually the 8 of Wands is translated as them coming towards you, something for you to catch, something for you to grab, which is kind of the opposite of what's happened here. It almost looks like it's a missed opportunity, which is an interesting take on the 8 of Wands. It feels more like an inverted, like a reversed 8 of Wands. It's really interesting. I think I love that one. The 4 of Cups. This is just gorgeous. We've got a little bit more like kind of landscape here. It's otherwise a pretty standard 4 of Cups. The composition is incredibly cool. I like it. The 6 of Swords with a staircase instead of a boat. That's interesting. We're carrying a baby, so it's still reminiscent of the multiple figures in the boat and the child or the baby in the boat in the 6 of Swords. Oh, but we're climbing off into the distance. I like this more than I think I should. I think I should feel like this is 8 of Cups vibes. What was it? Was the 8 of Cups one I was unsure about? The 8 of Pentacles I didn't love. Where did I put the 8 of Cups? Okay, this was the 8 of Cups, and I thought this is interesting because it shows the figure looking back. I like this actually. I like this distinction because I think the 8 of Swords and the 6 of Swords and the 8 of Cups can feel a little bit similar, can feel like they're representing the same sort of thing. And so I like that we've got them looking back in the 8 of Cups and looking ahead in the 6 of Swords. And oh, the focus in the 8 of Cups, there's nothing pictured in the distance, so the focus is on what's being left behind, whereas here in the 6 of Swords the focus is in this vanishing point in the distance. I really like that. I really like that. 7 of Swords, this is fine. Again with the dynamic shadows. I love these like eyes in the knees. Very cool. Reminds me of the Marseille Devil that has like eyes in its knees. The Star is fine. The Moon, this is incredibly gorgeous. It's very Rider-Waite-Smithy. I like the way the eclipse has been pictured. I think that's really cool. I love it. Oh, this is beautiful. 3 of Swords. It's very traditional. It's not particularly imaginative, but it is artistically gorgeous. So I kind of want to put it in the love it pile just for that, but I won't. This Magician, however, I do love. There is something about this Magician, which I think is another one of the cards that was in a preview image when I've looked at this deck previously, and I just think it's so cool. Like, we've got all the elements. I think the tattoos are really awesome. The as above, so below, the conduit. Yes, love it. The High Priestess with a cat. I enjoy that. And these eyes inside the cloak, it looks like, or like maybe they're the water in the background in that kind of slightly surreal way that the artwork is done. That's really cool. 10 of Cups. They're having a nap. There's a dog, there's a cat. What's not to love? No rainbow. I still think that the 10 of Pentacles in this deck would make a really good 10 of Cups, but this 10 of Cups is fine. Finally, the 10 of Wands. I'm not sure if I get the same sense of like a burden being carried in this, maybe because they're not walking. They're like crouched down, and so it just feels slightly different. And this one could have done with some background elements, I think. I don't know, I just feel like I'm not getting a lot. I feel like this would have been where some of like these shadows would have come in, or something backgroundy. I want to look at the guidebook, see what the guidebook has to say. Okay, so I have 3 cards I want to look at the guidebook. This is my yes pile. This is my fine pile. And then happily, the no pile is the smallest. I am going to look at the guidebook for these 3 cards, see what the guidebook has to say, get a feel for the guidebook, and then maybe look at some pairings in my collection, because I've got a few that spring to mind that I think will be really good with this. The 5 of Pentacles. Have you been beat down by expectations of abundance and wealth? Ooh, expectations of abundance and wealth. I'm not sure that I usually see it phrased that way. I like that. Part of the cycle, there is wealth after destitution. Reverse, perhaps things are not so bad as they seem. Look around for resources. You have not hit rock bottom. Okay, so no mention of the specific artwork. Like, I wanted to know what the snake was about, I think. I do like that she looks crafty. She looks like she is planning her next step rather than being completely like broken down and destitute. And I do like this. Have you been beat down by expectations of abundance and wealth? Like, beat down by the expectations. So it's not that you failed, it's that your expectations were maybe misaligned. That's cool. Okay, interesting. Okay, Ace of Swords. I think the reason I pulled this one out was because I thought this was the Aquarius sigil, Aquarius glyph, but I couldn't see the other signs. And then actually having gone through this deck, I'm not sure that it's necessarily Aquarius. It might just be squiggles. But we'll see what it says. Where your thoughts start, your mind will follow. Proceed with your truth. If you're having trouble communicating, shut your mouth and listen. Good advice, I think, sometimes. Yeah, there is no real reference to the specific artwork or the symbols used, which is a bit of a shame, but it is very, very teeny tiny booklet. Okay, and then the 10 of Wands. I want to see what the take is on the 10 of Wands, because yeah, I don't love it. Are you trying to do too much? Other approaches are possible. You can ask for help. Don't defend the need to be perfect. Reversed, you have been letting go of some of your burdens. Do you feel lighter? So it looks like pretty standard little white book interpretations that don't necessarily give too much insight into this specific artwork. So if you're a beginner, I would recommend having another tarot resource and not taking this artwork necessarily as gospel. You do you, read intuitively, whatever, but I think without any discussion of the specific artwork, you kind of got to make it up as you go along rather than trying to apply other rules about symbols and things to this artwork because we don't know the artist's intention. I feel like that was a very roundabout way of describing my thoughts, but I reckon if you're a beginner, get a secondary resource. I really like Radical Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess, or if you want a Rider-Waite-Smith book, what is it called? Let me grab them. This one, The Ultimate Guide to Tarot by Liz Dean, is a really good Rider-Waite-Smith based resource, and I will always recommend Radical Tarot by Charlie Claire Burgess. So if you're a beginner, this won't get you very far. And otherwise, I think I probably won't refer to this because it doesn't really offer anything. I don't know, I'll probably read through it because it'll take me half an hour, but I don't think it's offering anything too different to most other little white books from the looks of it. So that is my first thoughts on the deck. Disappointed with the print quality. Artwork's really cool. I like most of the images, and I feel more positively than I do negatively about the images, which is always nice. Yeah, artwork's great, imagery's great, the book is fine. I don't know about the indie. I don't know if there was like a bigger guidebook with the indie copy and it's been slimmed down for this publication. I simply don't know. If anyone has the indie and can say so in the comments, please do. Artwork's gorgeous, print quality is not, but I think if you like the artwork, it's pretty Rider-Waite-Smith consistent. So that's my first impressions. That's my kind of first thoughts about the deck, is that I reckon it's good for a Rider-Waite-Smith reader. If you're a newbie, get a book. So I am going to do some pairings because I can already think of decks that I want to pair this with. First and foremost, the Outgrow Yourself Tarot and Oracle, which you see on this channel all the freaking time. Because come on, is that not perfect? There is, I said it as I was going through, this deck feels a little bit spiky. The Many Queens feels a little bit spiky, and the Outgrow Yourself is what I refer to as my spiky deck. I said it throughout the flip through, the Many Queens feels a bit spiky, and the Outgrow Yourself is what I refer to as my spiky deck. Stop resisting progress. It kind of hits you. Cruelty is the highest pleasure with the 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. Interesting. Burn it to the ground. Burn it to the ground with the Magician and the Knight of Wands. The art styles, I think, complement each other really well. I think the like body shapes and the style of drawing the figures complement each other really well. Expose your true self. 2 of Swords, 6 of Swords. Okay, love this. This is a no-brainer. This probably isn't a surprise because I've talked about this deck a lot. It is the Prairie Majesty Oracle by Cara Simons. And it's because of the black and white and the art style. This one is illustrated by Amy Putney Koenig. I can't read. Amy Putney Koenig. But I thought the color of the black and white, it's a no-brainer. And I think I was correct. Takeover. Is it time to reclaim and reinvent the structures in my life? With the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Ooh, interesting. Crack. What do I know without knowing why or how? The 2 of Cups and the King of Cups. That's gorgeous. What energizes me? Play the Emperor and the 3 of Wands. Ooh, interesting. I do not think of either of those cards as very playful, but maybe play can mean different things. What if everything is already working out? The World and the 4 of Wands. That's a very positive message. I like that a lot. Okay. These are good. This is no surprise that they look good. I've paired this with a couple of my other black and white decks and really enjoy it. The high contrast works very well, especially with the black borders of this one. And it's like a similar art style even. I know that there's the suns in this deck have a similar kind of face to this. Okay, it's good. I like it. Right, I want to try it with the Heart and Hands, which is the other black and white one that I've got that I think is going to be confusing to read with. But I just want to see how they look together, do a bit of like a comparison, because I suspect I don't need both these decks, but try telling that to the rest of my collection. They definitely have similar in the sense that they have varying line thickness. There's areas that are like filled in. Like here, this Princess of Cups is a good example. Like there's kinds of different textures, different line widths. Like if you get into the details, this is a lot more like angular, and this I think has a heavier use on pattern than this one does, but they're kind of similar in that sense, which for me is a good thing because it makes it easier for me to visually read when there are these like really high contrast. Like this King of Pentacles is a bit visually confusing, but like here, something like this 4 of Pentacles, it's a lot easier for me to see what I'm looking at, which is the case with both of these. I'd love to do a bit of like a side by side of some of the cards maybe. I probably won't do that here and now because that would take me too long. I will say I love the quartz in both of these decks. I know I liked a lot of the quartz in this when I was just doing my flip through. Oh, the 2 and the 2. That's very nice. And I know I love the quartz in this deck. I don't know, maybe I'll use them together in like a patchwork. Maybe I'll do like these and maybe the Outgrow Yourself and the Prairie Majesty for some oracles. That could be cool. It would just look really cool. See what comes up. Okay, so they're not identical. I think having them next to each other, probably don't need both, but I have both, so, and I'm not mad about it. I do really like the Heart and Hands, this one, and so hopefully I will find that they read differently, but we shall see. Okay, I've got another couple of decks that I want to try as pairings. So this is the Animal Apothecary Oracle. It's a favorite oracle. It seems to go with like, it pairs well with so many things, and I figured the black outlines would complement, and then we've got the color versus the black and white. Shake, release, heal, move on. 4 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, that's, ooh, interesting. Okay. Focus on the big picture with the Seven of Wands and the Five of Swords. I think that's probably good advice for both of those cards, to be honest. Transformation, Four of Swords, Ten of Wands. Oh, I like that. Rest is transformative and the 10 is the end of a cycle. Okay, I like these. It's not my favorite pairing with this deck, to be honest. I've paired this with other things with I feel more success, but I don't hate it. It's good. This is, like I say, this is a really solid oracle that just seems to pair with a lot of stuff really well. And then I want to try it with the Lilith Tarot. I just want to see, because they're very different styles, but I feel like they could work. So obviously this is tarot and tarot, and I just thought the kind of blobby shapes. Oh, you know what would be good? Let's do like a trifecta of blobby of blobby shapes. You know, they're all depicting sort of human figures in varying degrees of unrealistic shape compositions. Oh, I like this. Okay, yes. And forget Harvest, Temperance, Three of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Oh, I like this very much. I think these really work. These are really strong. Okay, love that. The Devil with the Star, with the Sun. Oh my goodness. Mages, mages. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Excellent. I'm a genius. I have no idea how long this video is because I've cut it in several places, but that's all the decks that I wanted to try, and so I'm gonna end this one here. So this was my kind of second impressions, getting to know the Many Queens Tarot a little bit and playing with some deck pairings. I am interested to see how I get on with this one because, like I say, it feels sort of right next to the Heart and Hands Tarot, and I'll be interested to see if they both feel necessary in my practice or if I end up moving one of them along. I didn't really think about that because I pre-ordered this months ago, kind of forgot about it. And then when I got the dispatch notification, it was like a nice present to myself, but I hadn't really thought about it in the context of the rest of my collection. I'd thought about it as an indie deck that I wanted that was going mass market. So it wasn't the most carefully considered purchase of my life, but there we go. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the deck. Do you have the indie? Are you looking at getting the mass market? Let me know. If you'd like to see more from me, I have my link to my Patreon in the description below for you to check out, along with a link to my Etsy store for readings and my mini tarot spread zines. Give me a like if you liked this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!